Video. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day today. I am as well. On Friday, we took a shorting opportunity. We had a short that we made around 4 hour. We made all our losses back and we got back in break even and we're up. You know, that's how it is. You know that. We're like that. We're like that. We're him. And let's get straight into it. We had a short. I made a lot of mistakes on this short. Just as you guys know, there's never rule. There is gonna be always room for improvements. We're never satisfied of what we do. We have to be better. We're gonna get in a point where okay, we're at a perfect position, probably to everything. But are we in that position right now? In my POV, no, not even close. Still learning because once we keep on getting advanced, we can be like, okay, we can get better in price action, get better in this, get better in that, and overall be better. But we had a showing opportunity on Friday, which we took, which we only made 4 RR when we were supposed to make 8.5 RR, which that's the mistake we're gonna talk about. And let's get straight into it here. On the weekly time frame, the highest of analysis paralysis, we are weekly ERL to IRL, weekly steer to the downside, another weekly steer to the downside, daily IRL to ERL, daily CR to the downside, as well as another daily to the downside, premium ERL to IRL, discounted IRL. We had a classic option profile to the downside, Monday high of the week. 4 hour time frame, we had a 4 hour base auto flow. This premium of the range got tapped, so we did range low. We as well had a range high, got to go down range low. ERL to IRL. We as well had a 4 hour key level, which is a daily key level, as well the 4 hour ERL. Bearish auto flow, you can see market's constantly breaking lows here. And we had SMT with DXY. I think with GU, now DXY. DXY had SMT. We're looking for a Neo Carosa profile 2. 5 commission, 9 mid position, 1 PM expansion. This is a classic 3 candle CRT. Now let's go to the lower time frame for the execution. We have already had our model 1 right over here, but that model 1 was false. How come? Timing. But when it was the time, the model 1, when it got firm, they have the right time between 6 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. But keep in mind the purge happened at 5:45. So we wait for a purge. Boom, the purge happened. There was as well a macro here, but the macro is way more dangerous when the confirmation is not there. So you're avoiding that macro, waiting for that number 1. But the macro was there. If we could have taken a short somewhere around here, but the trade was definitely there on the macro. But we would have, I think, pretty sure you would have had a loss here first, then you would have won, right? So, but I'm not here to talk about this. Here to talk about the trade that we took. We had the number 1, tapped it, entry right over here, stop loss, take profit 1. No other take profit, but take profit 1, either TP or stop loss, nothing else. Now that worked out. The execution is on our Discord if you want to go check it out. You can join our Discord as well. Got the best community. And you can see this one went to take profit relatively very quick because it's Friday and we're selling above the weekly opening price daily 4 hours. So it's definitely going to move quick without waiting here. You see right over here, what was a mistake here? Although we didn't make money, congrats. We were down, what, negative 6.8 to 7. I said we were down negative 7% this week. But guess what? We ended up on a break even. And we ended up on a 0.50% gain. Welcome to the CRT Inner Circle Trader, Circles Traders world. I like that. Where, what I'm saying, you can see me go and draw down multiple times, like 6 times now. The past 2 months, guess what? All of them got out of it, right? It's very simple. Those, when I get in drawdown, I love it. I love how do I get out of drawdown? Because I fucking love drawdowns. I love it. This may sound like a little corny, but the state you get into when you're in drawdown, the mindset you get into when you feel all sort of emotions, doubts, this, that. I love that part. You know why? Because that is real. We're alive. If you don't feel like that, you're not alive. People could be happy but be sad inside. But that is real. You know what I'm saying? You're feeling that is real. You're like, holy, you know, this is happening, that's happening. You're doubting yourself, like, but doubt and stuff don't affect me, but it gets me to be in the mindset of, okay, this is a perfect time. I have to focus on the process. I have to visualize the future of what I want. I have to do this, that, and I have to build a mental toughness, which that is lets me to always getting out of drawdown. Because I love losing. You guys see me lose a lot of times. You could see, you know, my boy, especially if you go to check my boy Trader, he saw me lose multiple trades. A lot. But guess what? We're still in a profit. For the past 3 months, I'm up 56%. 56%, I'm still up after 3 months. After facing all of these losses, these drawdowns, I'm still up. How come? Because I use my drawdown as a mental toughness, as a phase to learn. Even because keep in mind, and when you're in drawdown, most traders quit. So there's gonna be a gap between you and somebody else. There can be a gap between you and people who quit on the drawdown. People who fucking suicide on drawdown. But we're not around here. Drawdown, we're gonna build a gap between me and them. Between you and them, there's gonna be a gap between them because you in drawdown use it for mental fortitude. You use it to, learn a lot. Let the market teach you even more. Sharpen your edge even more because the mental toughness you need the most during this drawdown. And it tells you to be focused on the process, of the outcome, of the long term, not short term. It tells you all of this you gotta focus on. When you focus on that, you get out of it easily. People pray for my downfall. But guess what? Downfall did happen. But guess what? That was my greatest moment. Your greatest moment isn't your greatest moment, it's your greatest defeats. When you're drawdown, when all this happens, when you're at your lowest point of your life, that is your greatest moment because that is when people quit, suicide, call it off. But that is when there's a gap between you and them. Because when the time is hard, they stop, they relax, they quit. Then eventually work. There's gonna be such a large gap between you and him. Because when it gets hard, they quit, right? When you keep going, you're building so much that there's a huge gap. Like, you know how market opens, it creates a gap. There's gonna be a huge gap between you and them. Sometimes the gap is big, small, depending how you do it. But sometimes it can be really big. If you see, go to take the future chart, the gaps are big, wide. When it's like that, those gaps are, what I'm saying, enriched. You're here to enrich the world. Those gaps are here. Those gaps enrich you even more because there's a gap here. The other guy's here. You're both in drawdown. He's here. You built a big gap between you and him. You're still in drawdown here, but there's a huge gap because you use it as a positive feedback to keep on going forward, right? So back to this trade that we had, the mistake that we took. I'm not gonna be sad about. I'm not gonna be mad about the mistake, but it's gonna be a learning opportunity here. The primary lesson is I should have entered, shoulda, coulda, no, it should have been here, but I will enter in the resistance block when the wick is overlooking the body. I had a sense of, okay, what if it doesn't get tapped? Evidence. We have evidence that if it getting tapped when the wick outweighs the body, or the wick is bigger in the body, in our visualization, our personal, this is when you want to use your emotions, feelings. Okay, this is bigger, that bigger, this small, that small, right? We should have entered the resistance block here. The wick is bigger than the body, so we're entering a resistance block, and I had a fear of, okay, what if it doesn't get tapped? I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm not gonna cap you guys here. This is overall my journal as well. My entry should have been a resistance block. Why? as I started to think the wick is overweight in the body, but I had a fear of like, what if it's gonna tap and it goes lower? What if I miss it? But guess what? We have evidence of it working. Number one, evidence number one. Number two, you go all the way back in the chart. Number three, number four, number five. We have evidence of it working. That's more than enough to know, okay, it's actually gonna get tapped. If it doesn't get tapped, okay. Sometimes the Mar 1 doesn't get tapped, it just goes. It happens. So right over here, the main lesson of this trade would have been rejection block. That's the main mistake I made. I should have entered out the rejection block, and I will enter the rejection block when the wick is outweighing the body. And the only time I enter the rejection block is when the Mar 1 is there. I get the right Mar 1, and etc., right? All of them must be there first. And that's the lesson of that trade that we took on Friday. Beautiful trade. We ended up in a week on a positive. Fantastic. Thanks for watching. Wish you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and join Discord. Link description down below. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.